Hey, it's a good day. Thank you all so much for joining the challenge this year for 2021. We are continuing this particular challenge every single year because we are here for the seeker, the student, and the scholar. And those of us who have um, developed a habit of getting into the Word of God recognize that we need it to sustain ourselves spiritually. It's the food and the nourishment for our souls. It gives us continual reminders and principles and power and strength and edification and intimacy with God, because when we get into this great book, we constantly find ourselves in spaces of reflection and reevaluation, renewal, and learning more about Him. Every single time that I get into the Word of God, I can honestly say that I learn something new about God and about myself. And it allows me to adjust in areas that need to be adjusted, and that never gets old. And I have this is the fifth year for the challenge. This is the fifth year for the challenge. And I strive every year to continue to stay on course with the daily readings, which is Monday through Friday, one chapter a day. And it gets us through the New Testament in 1 year. And right now we're in week 7 of 2021 challenge here. And time does go fast as you're reading, but we're already in week 7. And this week we're starting in Mark chapter 3. Mark chapter 3 for this week. And the theme, this year we wanted to move in some themes for the week so that individuals, we can get a focus maybe on some topics. And look, some focus for some topics. And guess what? This week, the focus is to stay focused. To stay focused. Last week we were talking about staying positive. This week we are honing in on staying focused. Staying focused. And staying is a position. It's a set place for us. Not that we're stagnant and not mobile in what we're doing, but there's a solitude about us that allows us to stay firm in the faith and to stay firm in the principles of the Word of God. And that only comes through reading. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. And not just definitely our prayer time is important. It's an intimate time for hearing, but also getting into the Word of God is a time of hearing. And it provokes questions. Questions are so important. I'm trying to really push that, because I think nowadays we're just getting out of the dialogue and discussion of the Word of God. And that is important. It helps us grow. It helps us strengthen. It helps us get insight on various topics. It helps us make applicable what is to be applied in this time right now. So it's important to ask those questions for us to talk about it. And I think sometimes we've gotten more potentially in a debating mode where it's just, let's look at it. Let's look at the text. And then that's allow the Spirit to guide us and give us greater understanding and revelation of what the Lord is trying to get us to see. But on that point of staying focused, in Mark chapter 3, as we're reading this week, that's the first chapter for today. Is Mark chapter 3. And there was a lot of points in here relating to focus. We see that he's in the synagogue, and there's a man with a withered hand, and they wanted to see what Jesus was going to do, but he was focused in on the mission, was to make sure people were ministered to. He didn't care about the outside forces and what others would say. They were stuck in the law. They were like, let's see if he's going to heal on the Sabbath. Is that really what he's supposed to do according to the law? But he didn't care about the law. He says, listen, I come that people will be ministered to and touched. If someone has a need on the Sabbath, is the Sabbath more important than the need of the people? So he was very focused on his mission. So it's important for us to be focused in on our mission. And when we need to go back sometimes and reevaluate, Lord, help me see more of where I'm supposed to focus in. And I think for me personally, that's where I am. You may be there. Most definitely after 2020, all of us have to probably sit down and say, Lord, help me refocus and see what it is exactly that you want me to really hone in on. that the people can be touched. Those who you have given us to serve can be touched, because it's always bigger than us. And he knew that it was bigger than him. But those individuals watching just wanted to see if he was going to go against the grain. And he always proved them wrong, because it was manifestation in him doing what the Father wanted him to do. And we go on. I'm just going to end on the last part of this chapter, which I thought was good. He says, some people come to him saying, here, your mother and your siblings are out here. And he essentially said, look, the people who are my family are those who are doing the will of the Father. I need to focus in on the relationships that are aligning with the will of God for me. And so that's a part of focus for the example that Jesus even gave us, and a focus for us now, even in 2021, that we align ourselves in relationship with those who are going to assist us in the purpose, and those who we recognize are walking in purpose, in alignment to the will of God. And he was very serious about that. And so it's important for us to stay focused. Stay focused. No matter what comes our way, stay focused. Hello, Elder Martina. Stay focused. And that's what we're going to look at this week. That's the theme for this week as we're reading. Stay focused. Stay focused. Was he negating his family? No, he wasn't. What he was saying here and emphasizing was there was a focus for him, and he wanted to make sure that he sustained his focus, because they tried to interrupt some things of what he was doing. It was in the midst of a mission. Like, wait a minute, I'm on a mission right here. I'm in assignment right now. And you're telling me to pull away from this to go talk to my family? No, the will of the Father was his focus at the time. So that is so good. Alignment is necessary. Yes, alignment is so important. And those who love you, and those who truly recognize that you have an assignment and a call on your life, will not be offended by your alignment. They will not be offended by your focus. They will actually promote your focus. They will applaud your focus, and they will be strengthened by your focus. When he said this, his mother, she wasn't offended. If you read in the gospel, you'll see times that she just pondered stuff in her heart. She hid it away because she knew her son was anointed. She knew he was special. She not only had a word from God and from the angel himself, but Mary knew the significance and the call upon. She probably didn't fully see the full scope of it, but she knew, she had an unction and an inclination of the greatness of Jesus Christ. And those, whether your family, your circle, those who truly love you and accept and know the call upon you, they will applaud your focus. They will tell you, stay focused. We need you. We need you to stay focused. Those are the ones that are going to be pushing you to stay focused. They're not going to divert you from the focus. So stay focused, just as Jesus encouraged us here in Mark chapter 3 to do the will of the Father. Stay encouraged, good people. Thank you so much for joining us throughout the challenge in this year. Continue to work the word, because working the word works. God bless you. See you next week.